Hey, I'm AJ, and today I'll be explaining to you my DaVinci project, learning to play Shogi. The purpose of my DaVinci project is to basically learn Shogi and become, an adept Shogi player. And I chose Shogi, or learning to play Shogi, to be the focus of my DaVinci project. Because first of all, I'm kind of interested in board games in general, and I'm also interested in Japanese culture. And I found that the combination of the two would be Shogi, and that's why I chose learning to play Shogi to be the focus of my DaVinci project. Well, how is my learning of Shogi valuable and relevant? Well, Shogi is actually quite a large part of Japanese culture, and so learning this game has allowed me to understand Japanese culture better and broaden my perspective of Japanese culture. And my own personal commitments and connections to this game would be that I've been playing this game and learning this game online for over the past half a year. And so I've become quite attached to this game. It's actually become quite a hobby for me. And I make sure that every week I set aside around 30 minutes to an hour of time to play this game. And most of the time I play online, but sometimes I can play with real life people with my own gear. And that's basically what I've been doing for the past couple months. Well, my DaVincian project of learning to play Shogi connects with two of the major DaVincian principles, curiosity and demonstration. It connects with the first of the two because it shows my curiosity, as I found this one day while watching some cartoons, and I became curious of what it was, as I couldn't really recognize the pieces or the board. And so I decided to go on, I researched it, eventually learned of the existence of Shogi, and decided to learn it. The second, it connects with demonstration, because Shogi is a board game, and in order for me to become an adept player, I had to play many games. And in the process, I learned many things about traps and techniques in this game. And so I learned from my mistakes, and eventually I've become able to recognize these and avoid these traps and exploit them at certain times of the game. Well, from my own point of view, I believe that I've learned quite a bit. I've learned how to play, I've learned many of the maneuvers, lots of the castles, lots of the tactics. However, if I may make a Shogi analogy, I feel that I've learned just one of the pieces, and I still have a lot to learn. Here's just some footage of myself playing against online opponents. I'm the player called Slayer5321. Anyways, I can connect my DaVinci project of learning how to play Shogi to our humanities course to the question, how does a humanities student demonstrate learning and understanding? Apart from in class with tutorage, my project shows how a humanities student can demonstrate learning and understanding through curiosity and trial and error. And in this case, I consistently tried to learn Shogi through countless hours of practice and mistakes. And I was curious enough to look for this opportunity to learn. Now, there are some preconceptions and misconceptions that I had. Originally, I thought that this would be a relatively simple project. All it is was to learn a board game. However, Shogi is actually an extremely intensive and advanced board game, and so it actually took a while to digest. You can see that in some of these videos I've had massive fails, as I didn't understand several traps and pitfalls. Through the course of this project, I have obtained many new skills. Originally, I didn't know how to play Shogi, and so throughout the course of history, I believe that I did partially achieve my goal of learning how to play Shogi and obtaining these basic skills to become a regular Shogi player. Throughout the course of this project, I believe I have several strengths and weaknesses. A strength of mine would be that I went online and found a very good tutor, essentially. This guy called Hidachi online on YouTube. And I believe this is a strength because in order to learn something, you really need a strong base. And This guy was a very strong base for me because he gave lots of basics, and he also continuously updated on more and more advanced material. So as I began to learn more about shogi, he also updated more and more videos, and so it basically we had some convergent learning. However, a weakness of mine was that in Hong Kong, I don't know many people who actually learn shogi, and so I didn't really have anyone to practice against. However, I basically solved this weakness by going online and playing against people. They were hard. They were more skillful than me, which was a good thing because it enabled me to learn. However, there still was this gap where I could not practice, and I recognized that as my weakness. Although I learned a lot from Hideshi on YouTube, this was not really the only place where I actually learned. I also learned many techniques and skills from a friend of mine, Tomohisa. You may know him from HKS, as he also knows how to play shogi. This is actually an example of me playing him in shogi. I also got lots of resources from my dad's co-workers because he knows people from Japan, and basically I obtained many of my materials and a book on shogi from his coworkers, and I am planning on playing with them in the future. If any of you were to want to learn shogi, I would be happy to teach you. It's not very hard. There are not many requirements you need to learn shogi. It's just a relatively basic board game that can get more and more advanced as you learn on. Well, that was an explanation of my DaVinci journal. Hope you enjoyed and hope to see you learn and play shogi in the future.